Let's get right into it. Number 10. The car radio silence. You're driving along, jamming to your favorite tunes, when suddenly you realize you're lost. What's the first thing you do? You turn down the radio. How exactly is lowering Taylor Swift's volume going to help you find your way? It's not like the street signs are going to whisper directions to you. Scientists have found that this actually works. Your brain only has so much processing power. It's like having too many tabs open on your computer. When you're lost, your brain is already working overtime. It's checking street signs, looking for landmarks, and trying to remember if you've seen that weird-looking house before. Adding music to that mix is like trying to solve a math problem while someone's singing in your ear. Brain scans show that when you're listening to music, part of your visual processing power actually gets weaker. Sound literally makes you slightly more blind. It's why you might catch yourself squinting when you turn down the radio. Your brain is like, finally, now I can see properly. It's not just getting lost. People do this when they're parallel parking too. As a driver, you turn it down. As a passenger, you instinctively get quiet. It's like we all collectively decided, shh, let them concentrate on not hitting that Porsche. But nobody ever made this rule. We just do it. Scientists call this cognitive offloading. Basically, your brain is throwing unnecessary stuff overboard when it needs to focus. So next time you find yourself turning down Beyoncé because you can't find the right exit, don't feel weird about it. Your brain is just being a good captain, making sure all power goes to the navigation systems. Number 9. The ATM Bubble. Ever notice how everyone just knows to stand way back when someone's using an ATM? No one taught us this. There's no sign that says please stand 6 feet away while Bob checks his sad bank balance. But somehow, we all follow this unwritten rule like it's carved in stone. This invisible bubble is way bigger than normal personal space. You wouldn't back up 6 feet when someone's ordering coffee, but at the ATM, we treat each other like we're all carrying some highly contagious disease. And if someone breaks this rule, it's pure chaos. Your brain immediately goes, are they trying to rob me? Are they trying to peek at my PIN? Or are they just a psychopath who doesn't understand basic ATM etiquette? Scientists actually studied this. They found that our personal space bubble normally extends about arm's length, but at ATMs, it grows significantly. This bubble is so powerful that people will literally press themselves against walls or pretend to be super interested in their phones just to show they're not looking. Everyone turns into amateur actors. Oh look, this brick wall is fascinating. The craftsmanship. This rule exists everywhere. From New York to Tokyo, everyone just knows. It's like we're all part of this secret global society of respectful ATM users. Number 8. The one-trip carry. You're standing in your driveway, staring at all the grocery bags in your trunk, and something in your brain just clicks. I can do this in one trip. Never mind that no one's keeping score. Your caveman brain has decided this is now a test of your worth as a human being, so you start the elaborate process of becoming a human octopus. 4 bags on the left arm, 6 on the right, 2 bags wrapped around your pinky like some kind of plastic noose, a gallon of milk wedged in your armpit. There's no official rule book that says, thou shalt carry all thy groceries in a single journey. Your neighbors aren't posting on social media about the shameful person who took 2 trips to bring in their shopping. But here we are, looking like we're training for some weird Olympic event called extreme grocery transportation. People will literally risk dropping their eggs, crushing their bread, and permanently deforming their fingers just to avoid that second trip. And then comes the final boss battle, getting your keys out of your pocket. You're doing this weird dance trying to reach your keys without dropping $200 worth of groceries all over your porch. Meanwhile, your fingers have turned purple, and you've lost all feeling in your left hand. This isn't a generational thing. Your grandparents did it. Your parents did it. And now you're doing it. It's like we're passing down this weird tradition of self-imposed suffering. Back in my day, we carried all the groceries in one trip, uphill both ways. Number 7. The elevator rule. Everyone in an elevator faces forward and stares at the doors. Nobody ever told us to do this, but we all do it anyway. Scientists studied this behavior. Turns out we're acting like animals in a confined space. When animals are forced into tight spaces with others, they pretend the others don't exist to avoid conflict. We do the exact same thing. There's an invisible bubble of personal space around the control panel. If someone's standing there, we'll do Olympic-level gymnastics with our arms just to avoid reaching across them. When someone faces the back of the elevator, everyone else thinks they're about to star in a horror movie. When someone tries to start a conversation, everyone starts checking their phones like they just got an urgent message from the president. Elevators are actually one of the safest forms of travel. You're more likely to get hurt walking upstairs, But put people in an elevator and suddenly everyone acts like they're in a tiny metal coffin. We do this weird shuffle dance, moving slightly to make sure we're as far from others as possible, like we're playing some bizarre game of human Tetris. This happens everywhere there are elevators. From Tokyo to Toronto, we're all doing this weird door-staring ritual. Even in cultures where people typically stand closer together, they still do the elevator shuffle. Number 6. The thermostat touching taboo. Touching someone else's thermostat feels like you're breaking into Fort Knox. There's no law against it. No ancient scripture saying, "Thou shalt not touch thy neighbor's temperature control," but somehow, we all know you just don't do it. Studies show that disputes over thermostat settings are one of the top causes of roommate and office conflicts. One study found that 3 out of 4 workers secretly adjust the thermostat when no one's looking. It's like thermal espionage. The whole "don't touch the thermostat" rule actually has some historical roots. Back in the 1970s, during the energy crisis, government campaigns focused on saving energy. They turned thermostats into sacred objects that only the head of the household should control. That messaging stuck around. But it gets worse. Most office buildings still use temperature standards from the 1960s. These were based on the metabolism of a 40-year-old, 154-pound man in a suit. So if you're not exactly matching that description, you're probably either freezing or sweating. No wonder people are sneaking around adjusting thermostats like cat burglars. Some people install literal cages around their thermostats. This unwritten rule is so powerful that people will literally sit there sweating or freezing rather than risk the social crime of touching someone else's thermostat. Number 5. The last slice standoff. You're at a pizza party and there's one slice left. Everyone's staring at it like it's the last water bottle in a desert, but nobody's reaching for it. Everyone keeps insisting that someone else should take it. While their stomachs are growling louder than a motorcycle gang, people start cutting that last slice into smaller and smaller pieces, like they're trying to solve Zeno's paradox with pepperoni. Nobody actually made this rule. There's no ancient scroll that says, "Thou shalt not taketh the final slice without offering it to others at least 3 times. Scientists actually studied this behavior. They found that this last slice syndrome exists in pretty much every culture. It's a game of politeness chicken. This rule changes based on who you're with. With strangers, you'd rather die than take the last cookie. With your best friend, you might fight over it. With your siblings, there was never a last cookie because you were fighting over it before the first one was even eaten. Scientists think this behavior evolved as a way to maintain social harmony. Back in our caveman days, being too greedy could get you kicked out of the group, and being alone meant becoming something's dinner. So our brains developed this weird, better safe than sorry approach to sharing resources. The irony is this politeness rule actually wastes a ton of food. Our fear of looking greedy is literally filling up landfills. Number 4. The shopping cart test. Returning your shopping cart is what some people call a perfect example of being a good person when no one's forcing you to. There's no law saying you have to return it. No one's going to fine you if you don't. The cart police aren't going to show up at your door. It's a task that offers no reward but prevents minor inconvenience for others. The state of the parking lot can actually change how people behave. If people see abandoned carts everywhere, they're more likely to just leave theirs too. This is an example of the broken windows theory. When we see signs that others don't care, we're more likely to stop caring too. It's the same reason a clean bathroom stays clean longer than a messy one. Some stores tried to fix this by making you put a coin in to get a cart. In some cases, this can backfire. People feel like since they paid for the cart with their deposit, they are no longer morally obligated to return it. It becomes a business transaction. The deposit can remove the moral decision and turn it into a financial one. Number 3. The thanks you too mistake. The ticket person says, "Enjoy your movie," and you reply, "Thanks, you too." Then you walk away wanting to crawl into a hole and never come out. It's like when the waiter says, "Enjoy your meal," and you hit them with that, "You too." This happens to almost everyone. It's your brain running on autopilot. Our brains are lazy. They create shortcuts for common social situations. It's like having a pre-recorded message ready to go. When someone says, "Have a nice day," you automatically say, "You too." But sometimes the wires get crossed. Like when the dentist says, "Your next appointment is in 6 months," and you say, "You too." Now the dentist thinks you're planning to examine their teeth in half a year. Scientists have found that a huge portion of our daily actions are pure habit. We're basically running on autopilot most of the time. It's like watching yourself walk into a glass door in slow motion. You know it's coming, but the autopilot is too strong. But these autopilot responses actually help us. Without them, we'd have to think about every single social interaction. You'd be mentally exhausted by lunch. Number 2. Sitting in the same seat. People get weirdly territorial about seats, even when no one assigned them. You walk into a classroom or a meeting on the first day, pick a random spot, and suddenly that's your spot for the rest of the year. Break this unwritten rule, and people act like you've just committed a serious crime. Researchers have actually looked into this. Turns out we're basically just animals marking our territory. When someone takes our assigned seat, our brains can react the same way as if someone invaded our personal space. There was this professor who did an experiment where he moved all the chairs around in his lecture hall. The students walked in, saw their usual spots were gone, and completely lost it. Some just stood there, frozen. Others wandered around looking lost, like they'd forgotten how to sit. It's not just students. At the office, if someone accidentally sits in Bob from accounting's spot during a meeting, Bob might spend the entire meeting standing by the wall, refusing to sit anywhere else. Scientists think it's because having our spot gives us a sense of control and stability in an unpredictable environment. It's like our brains are saying, everything else in life might be chaos, but at least I know where I'm sitting. Number 1. The volume number rule. Ever notice how you never leave your TV volume on 27 or 43 or any other random number that just feels wrong? Most of us follow this weird unwritten rule about TV volumes. We either set it to an even number or a multiple of 5, and if someone leaves it at something like 37, it feels like they just committed a crime against humanity. But no one actually made this rule. TV manufacturers didn't program their devices to work better at even numbers. Your speakers don't magically sound better at volume 30 than at 31. It's just something we all collectively decided was right. Studies show that people will actually sit through slightly uncomfortable volume levels just to keep it at an acceptable number. They'll leave it at 20, even if 21 would be perfect, just because 21 feels chaotic. Some people get genuinely stressed when their volume is set to a wrong number. It's like having a painting hanging slightly crooked. You just know it's not right. This is so common that there are entire online communities dedicated to discussing the correct volume numbers. Scientists think we do this because our brains love patterns and order. It finds round numbers satisfying. It's the same reason we prefer to pump gas until it hits an even dollar amount, or why we set our alarms for 7 instead of 7:03, even though those extra 3 minutes of sleep sound pretty good. The funniest part is, this rule is so ingrained that when people find out someone doesn't follow it, they react like they've just met an alien. You watch TV at volume 27? What kind of monster are you? That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.